refreshing that. So okay. Let me get people from the Genesis journey.
Welcome, everybody. Please, we are now on our podcast, Ignite Your Faith. Tell each and every one to get on now for our power of Ignite Your Faith. We're going to start in a few minutes, so we just ask you just to continue to share and make sure you subscribe. We are not only on Facebook Live, but we're also on YouTube Live. So share with those that are here so that we're sharing today on this New Year's Eve. We are excited about 2025 and what's going on. So we'll start in a few minutes if you just tag on alive as we begin to share an experience today concerning New Year's 2025.
So it's part two that started right before I came over at the house.
Oh, oh, you stopped it? Or they can't hear us?
So the mother got there 2 in the morning. So the mother must have been at her
That
house.
thing's moving though.
Music.
And they bust open doors in Corey's space. The same space Billy said that they're not supposed to be in because of what according to what he read. They went and they bust open doors and went through the back door. I said, ah.
Mm-mm. It's on. I just heard you say music on the thing. Shit on my face.
Welcome, welcome again. We are live here for 2024, the end of the year. We are excited about what's going on for the year. How many of you are excited that's on with us as we continue to share? Don't forget that we are having Watch Night service that is at 10 p.m. at Antioch Baptist Church, 828 Green Avenue. So we are excited about what we're doing, and we know that God is going to do something very special for you. So today we are talking about the New Year's resolution and vision board. Is that something that people should do for 2025? It's been always said that before the New Year's come in, that everyone has to create some type of resolution, and that we have to make sure that you lay out your goals and what's going on, what you are achieving, going to achieve to happen in 2025. Uh, so we want to just make sure that we want to talk about it and talk it through because there might be some people online today that might have some reservation on creating a New Year resolution or a vision board on their life. And there are a lot of people out there indicating that they have tried it, that they have put forth trying to create a vision board or a New Year's resolution, and it just does not work. So I got my guests with me today, Brother Wally Crandall and Leslie Marshall. So they're going to say welcome, and then they're going to start off by telling me what their opinion about New Year's resolution or a vision board. Ladies first,
Oh,
Leslie
awesome.
Marshall.
Thank you so much for having me on the
Evangelist.
they got jokes. Thank you so much for having me on the show tonight. So first of all, I just did a little quick research on it, and I found out that many years ago it started, and then when the Romans took it over, it was kind of a spiritual thing where people did resolutions, but the resolutions were to the gods. But then as the years passed, it turned into more of a party thing. So it depends on who you are, what your goals are. I do believe in wanting to be a better you as the time progressed. We want to be better. We want to, you know, choose those areas in our lives. One of the things they said was the top that people pick is to lose weight and to eat better. Two things I need to do. So, but the experts say that we need to make small baby steps. Don't go making these say revolutionary things. I'm going to change the world in one day. So I do not think anything's wrong with vision boards because even the Bible says write the vision and make it plain. But I do believe that no matter what the month is, we need to definitely make some goals, spiritual goals, natural goals, just things in life to improve and be a better person.
What is your take, Mr. Crandall?
So I agree. I agree with Leslie. New Year's resolutions. I honestly I think it's a good thing that we set resolutions because what it is we say resolutions, but it's actually goals. And I think that a good year, I mean, a new year is the best time to refocus, um, and just set those goals that you want to accomplish for yourself, especially if it's a good thing. Um, I gave up New Year's resolutions a while ago because I just don't stick to them. But what I've learned to do is just set goals and just uh, basically I'm on this. You know what? This is what I've done. There's some things that I started in December. Um, goals for myself. So we'll see some positive things coming. But I don't think resolutions are a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. Uh, yeah.
So, resolution, which one is better when they talk about resolutions or vision board? What's the difference that you might consider on what is a resolution and what is a vision board?
I think a
Leslie
resolution.
or
Oh,
Wally,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I
Either
think a
one.
resolution is more of a promise, and I think a vision board is more of a goal that you want to achieve. And I think with the negative thing with resolution, what people may say is negative with the resolution is that we set these we tend to do it big, and we set these promises to ourselves, and promises can be broken. So i
Yes.
i think if you do more of a vision board, and then you lay it out, and then you can actually see it. It helps you see it, whereas a resolution is in your mind. Now maybe if you write the resolution down, or your resolutions down, it'll help because it'll become more vision, and then you can see it. You can see, and if you write, this is at this point in March, I want to have this done and things like that.
Leslie, what do you think?
Another good thing about a vision board, it came to me, is that when you have a vision board, it's a lot of women have vision board parties. So we have a party, we get magazines, we cut out things that we like, places we want to travel, different things we want to accomplish at work, at home, with the children, with the family. A good thing about a vision board, like Walik said, is up, so you're seeing it daily. Another thing about a vision board is we're together. We did this together, so you're going to hold me accountable. You're going to say, Leslie, how is that working? Are you on the third chapter of your book yet? Have you been to the library? Are you doing your research? So a great thing about a vision board is we get to collaborate, and I get to know some things you're working on. So maybe there's some things that we're working on that's similar. And so we will get to check in with one another. So that's, to me, that is a great thing about having a vision board, being able to check in with one another and make sure we've made some type of progress, not putting a knife to anybody's throat, not saying, I thought you said you wasn't going to eat pork this year. I thought you said you was going to run the track 3 times in a week. Holding people with gentle reminders. How you
Mhm.
doing? We almost in August. Did you take off those 20 pounds? Have you cut out going to Doc's to get some cake? That type of thing.
So what I'm getting at is that it seems as though that a resolution is individual, personal, and a vision board could be collective. It could be a group that participate in the vision board. So for those of you who are online with us, if you have some thoughts about resolution versus vision board, or you experience both of them, please write it in the chat so that we can kind of sort of talk about it. We're watching you. Thank you all for jumping
Hey,
on.
Margaret.
So I hear that key word of goal setting. And sometimes when you do resolution, from a spiritual perspective, people think that it's a secular, worldly thing, and that religious people should not be setting goals, that they should not be writing resolutions or doing vision board. What is your thought on it, the secular versus the spiritual? Either one of you jump in.
Well, yeah, you know, I think the word secular. I think people make the word secular negative, and I don't think anything is if you're doing something to better yourself,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a resolution, whether it's a vision board, whether it's secular, because guess what, we work in a secular world.
Hmm.
Exactly.
So anything positive where you want to be better or anything that'll make you better, I think it's fine. I think
Yes.
it's good. I don't Christians are of secular world because we have to be.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think that a lot of things that we do, uh, it's we're in the secular world. I'm going back to listen. If it's if it'll make you a better person,
Right.
then
Go for it.
go for
Yeah. Well, y'all know it wouldn't be me if I didn't give y'all a scripture, and there's hundreds of them. But what Proverbs 16:9 says, the heart of a man plans his path, but the Lord directs his steps. So we can make all the goals that we want to make, we can make all the plans. But what does the Bible tell us? To acknowledge the Lord
Hmm.
in all our ways, and he will direct our path. Because I have a lot of things that I would like to do that is may not be in his path for me. And there's a lot of things that I don't want to do that probably is in his path for me. So the first thing is, I don't think there's anything wrong with setting a goal. Set your goals, have your boundaries, know which side you sit on, but at the same time, consult Him. Lord, what is your will for my life? As I make these goals, show me which one is of you and which one is not of you.
Okay, so the first thing that you do, even when you're doing resolutions or vision board, is setting goals. What are some of the goals that people set? Let's go to the ones that people can't even live up to. What are some of them outrageous goals that people set from your
it. They
experience?
want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks.
How you doing?
So a lot of the goals, a lot of those resolutionary goals. I think I just played that wrong. But a lot of those resolutionary goals is food.
Mm,
Is weight loss. That's the biggest one I think.
It's true.
mm-hmm,
The biggest one is probably weight loss. I think another one is to scale down schedules. Like
mm-hmm.
when people like, I'm not gonna work so much.
That's
I
correct.
give a lot. I'm not going to. I'm gonna do. Workaholics tend to take that on.
Yes.
Um, so I think those are probably two of the big ones. But of course, the biggest one is food.
Okay, if you agree, those of you online that's watching us, that food is one of the main goals or resolution that people write. Do you agree, Leslie?
Well, I have to do my research. America's top New Year's resolutions. This was
Uh,
in 2021. They said the highest was exercise more,
Oh, I
mm-hmm,
forgot to
eat
exercise.
healthier,
mm-hmm,
spend more time with family and friends, lose weight, because just because you exercise, everybody's not trying to lose weight. They just want
Mm.
to get toned. Live more economically, so saving some money. Spend less time on social media. That needs to be me. Improve my performance on the job. Reduce stress on the job. Quit smoking and cut down on alcohol.
Mm.
So
Was that?
alcohol was the was
The
that was at the
last
bottom
one?
of the list, but that
Oh
was
wow, good to
2021.
know.
So there's just many lists that people set, and and I think it's just so hard to continue it. You're like, oh, what's today? Is January 27th. I said because my one of mine, I said I'm gonna try my best. It's very hard. I want to drink more water and eat less meat.
Okay, so goal setting. Goal setting is it's two things, real. It's clarity and direction.
Okay,
So when you set goals, there has to be a sense of clarity
right?
and direction. Setting goals at the beginning of the year provides a clear roadmap.
That's right.
So when people set a goal or make a New Year's resolution and set the goal in their resolution or on their vision board, it
Correct.
has to be clarity. You have to make sure that you actually understand why, how, and the what's about what you're doing.
Right.
Because if you don't understand that roadmap and try and where's my beginning and where's the end goal,
Right.
how am I going to get there?
Right.
Clarity allows you to break down larger ambitions and
Right.
put them in smaller stop signs
Mhm.
Yes.
or green lights and
Right.
red lights. So when you set goals, you're going to have to kind of sort of create these red lights and green lights or even a yield light so
Mm-hmm.
that you don't just go straightly into
Mhm.
losing 20 pounds in
Right.
2 weeks. So if we were actually to talk, we're not specialists for those who are watching us.
No.
We're not specialists on this, but we just have an idea
Yes.
of saying that if I really want to lose weight, they don't. I think they were indicating that just stop eating is not a weight loss.
No.
No.
No,
And it's
so
not healthy.
it is not healthy. And
Well,
so,
that's when you stop eating. What is that? You
Starving
that's
yourself.
a eating disorder.
mhm.
What is that?
Anorexic.
It's not anorexia because you're not throwing it up.
Oh,
Is it? But
because
you
every time you eat something, you get rid of it.
that's anorexic.
Okay.
Mhm.
But the other one when you're not eating, what's that? Bulimia.
Mhm.
So that's it. But I like that, Rev, that you pointed that out because about having a clear path on how to reach those goals or
Mhm.
how to reach your resolution
Mhm.
because I think that we just jump in it. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that uh, what that's what the world does. Hey, this is the and people don't make New Year's resolutions until New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. I noticed that you don't hear nobody talk about New Year's resolution at least probably today
Yeah,
and tomorrow. But
it's
people
true.
don't. I don't hear people talk about it until it's time. So if you really had a clear vision and you can say, hey, it may not be a New Year's resolution, but for the new year, I want to do this,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna start doing this to prepare for it.
Right.
Then, so I think that's really important.
So even with that perspective, it's manageable ambitions.
Yes.
To manage your
Mm,
ambitions, right? So when people are setting goals, they need to manage their ambitions. That
That's
means
right.
I'm mapping it out, actionable steps.
Right.
What is it that
and
actually,
realistic.
and being realistic on
Yes.
how I'm going to accomplish these steps,
That's
step
correct.
by step. I'm gonna manage it
Yes.
because some people, your steps get out of control,
Yes.
and that's when you stop eating and stuff
That's when
like
you
that,
crash and burn.
and that's when you crash. So even the Bible says that modesty.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are going for weight loss, is modest eating.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
What is modest eating? Not being gullible, eating everything you see,
Gluttony. Not
gluttony,
being a glutton.
too much of anything
It's not a
becomes a
good.
sin,
Exactly.
and that creates overweight. So we need to pull back and moderately eat. Eat your breakfast, not a big one.
Mm-mm.
Lunch should be the biggest one, and dinner should be a moderate one
Put the
as
snacks
we
away.
go.
Put
There
the
it goes
snacks out
right
the
there.
office, out the office
Uh,
desk. Get rid of
so
your
how many
snacks.
of you
Well,
online that are
moderately, when you are looking to lose weight, you are supposed to eat throughout the day.
yeah.
You're supposed to snack. You're supposed to eat. They're
One day they say
I
this,
worked
and then
with
the
a truck.
next minute they
No, no,
say
no,
that.
no, no, no. You supposed to have some little tiny snacks. I'm
Healthy
not
snacks.
saying right, like healthy snacks. Have some celery. Have some little, and even little. When I used to work at Citibank, there was this guy who used to work out, and he used to come and his lunches. Well, he ate like 8 times a day.
Mm.
Mm,
But when he ate, he had these little itty bitty stuff that he'd be like, I'm eating lunch. And I'd be like, what is that? A little tiny burger about this big. I'm like, what? But he would eat it and he's fine, drink his water. But then you'll see him probably 2 hours later eating something real small again.
I've heard that. I've also heard because I like snacks. I like sweets. That's one of my problems. And I've also heard that like Beyonce, when she used to have a donut, she won't eat the whole donut. She just take a little bite and throw the rest out. So us non-performers, us non-famous people, the problem is throwing the rest of it out. Like take a
Oh,
little
you talking
bite.
about Rich?
Yeah, like they have a personal trainer, so they have
Right.
this, But
Again, realistically,
Realistic. How much can
a
I
lot of
mean?
us ain't walking around with a person.
yeah,
But who can
Uh,
afford
right.
actually to throw away food? That itself is
that's the
something.
truth.
And that's another thing, right?
So, so here's the next thing: is smart goals. What are
Hmm.
smart goals? A lot of people do goals, but the idea is smart goals, right? We see that Valerie said that she eats six small meals a
That's
day,
what it is.
right?
So,
So,
That's
but
why
what are
she got
smart
that
goals?
nice little figure now, Val. I see you with your little nice figure eating them 6 more meals a day.
that's
so
correct.
so often when we set resolution, we don't actually do smart goals.
Right,
We
right.
don't set smart goals. So the acronym for SMART is specific, measurable,
Mhm.
achievable, relevant,
Mhm.
and time bound.
Mhm.
So when you set SMART goals, it's specific. What am I actually trying to do? Right? Then measurable. That's SM. I got to make sure that it's measurable. Because a
Mhm.
lot of people set goals that cannot be measured. I'm going to make $1 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Okay,
right.
let's. Is that really can is that measurable or is it achievable? Which is the A in SMART.
Mhm.
Can we achieve those measures when we set them goals are? And then here it goes. Is it relevant? Is it
Mm.
relevant to you? How personable is it to you when you set a SMART goal? And then here's that question that you asked: in 2 weeks, 20 pounds, time bound. Can I actually do that in this matter of time? So I got to make sure that in order for me to be successful, I got to set smart goals. What's your idea about
Well,
that?
I was looking, Margaret. Thank you so much for joining us, Margaret, my dear sister. I like what she said about a vision because that's what happens when we think of a vision. When I hear vision, I think of this great big thing that I'm doing. But if
Hmm.
I don't use these tools and steps that you just said, it's just like me blowing smoke. It's like hoping, putting it in the air, but not really having the steps to get there. And I know in the past that's what I've done. I want to do this, I want to do that. But you have a list of just doing that, but I don't have the steps that's going to
Hmm.
push me there. Like, how do I get there? What's the steps? Who do I need in my circle? How do I hold myself accountable? Who else is holding me accountable? I have people that I heard on the way over here. Somebody said they want to read the Bible more.
Hmm.
Are they going to make time to read the Bible? They want to pray more. They want to do this. They want to do that. So I believe people have a lot of great intentions, like we all do. But then
But
time
that
comes.
that key thing that you just said, read the Bible more, come to church. You got to put yourself in positions and with people who are doing the same thing that you're doing.
Join the Genesis journey.
Right.
And
Like,
I was thinking about that today. Because I said, because that was, I was thinking about that today. I said, I
Hmm.
should, let me read the whole Bible. So that was going to be my goal. But one of the things that I was thinking about is you doing the Genesis, like the Genesis journey that you've done. Because y'all went through Genesis and now y'all are in
We're in
the
Leviticus.
right.
We're in
So,
Leviticus. And I don't want to push people's, and Margaret could be my help. I told everybody today as I start a new group, let me know if you want to be involved or you don't want to be involved. Many people who I thought didn't want to come back, they're like, no, I want to come back. Because as a group, we read every Sunday, except for Sundays we're busy and stuff. We read a scripture in the Bible, went over together. But that's why one of my girlfriends said today, We have to, whatever the goal is, whether it be the Bible, whatever it is, you have to be with like-minded people, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. Because if I keep pushing it on you, pushing it on you, pushing it on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not interested, it's a waste of my time. Come on, let's go to the gym. Come on, let's go to the gym. Come
Mm-hmm.
on, throw out the Popeyes. We need to eat healthy. If that's not your goal, but we're rocking together, I'm
Mm-hmm.
most likely gonna go with him to Popeyes because I like
Well,
their apple
go
pies.
go to the gym on Tuesday. It's gonna be packed.
Well,
A
now
lot
that's
of
the
my
thing,
a lot of people that work out regularly, they hate this time of year
because that's when
because they're
everybody
like people
comes.
come and take their machines and all of that stuff and all of that
And how long do you
things.
think it takes to go away? That
I
people
think
stop
about
coming?
3 months.
Oh Lord have
So Margaret also says that I saw earlier. She said, unfortunately, resolutions are quick to be pledged and even quicker to be forgotten.
Mm.
Vision boards, I think, are long-term goals that you want to achieve.
So here's that collaboration with resolution and vision board. If you have a resolution, you create a vision board
right?
for the resolution, and that way your resolution can actually be carried through. Because a resolution is a statement. This is what I want to do. The vision board actually lays it out and create the roadmap and put it in the smart goal setting for me to actually carry it out.
Right.
And I think what happens, a lot of people do resolution, but they don't collaborate it with a vision board.
That's right.
So how do they accomplish this resolution? Nor are they, the second thing after setting goals is motivation.
That's correct.
How do you create some motivation around you? So, for instance, I know Walik, you're an actor, and if you are gearing up for a part, how do you create motivation in your acting process to when you did something one time and they didn't call you? What motivates
Ooh,
you
that's a
to
good one.
continue that process when there's another opportunity?
Well, what keeps me motivated is the passion that I have for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. And another thing that keeps me motivated to keep me going, because it is a tough business if you are in the entertainment business, no matter what. So it is a tough business, but and then you do get more rejection than you get accepted. You get more no's, you get way more no's before your yeses. But also, I love what I do. And then I have God. So we talked about one of my favorites. One of my favorite scriptures is, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." So I'm always looking to be strengthened because I know, and I had to go back to learn not only the performing aspect
Mm-hmm.
of the art, but the business side of the art.
Mm-hmm.
So at one time, I was in a place where I took everything personal because I used to feel that I'm not good enough. But then when you understand this business, and how you get, and how, especially when you're in film and TV, a lot of it is a look and has nothing to do with your talent.
Yes.
It may have something to do with your name. Like if you got a big name and you
Mm-hmm.
are getting offered spot parts, that's different. But I had to stop taking the things personal because my motivation is just number one is just loving what I do and having a passion for it. I
Mm-hmm.
have a great support system. My family, my church family, my friends. Um, like I have a great support system. And then when people every time I go somewhere and I hear people say, "Oh no, this is my friend Wally. Oh, he's an actor. He did that." When people boast you
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's nice.
and you don't have to, it just makes me. It always makes just happen on Sunday, right? It makes me say, "Wow, thank you, God," because
I gotta keep
God will
going.
always show you, like, or give you a sign of something where you shouldn't give up. So I think as far as motivation, if you don't have the heart to do it in the first place, because we can't do it for other people.
Yes.
We
Mm.
can't do it for the man. We can't do it for the women. We can't do it for the wife, the husband. We can't do it for our children. We have to do it for ourselves. And that's if you have to have it's like a drug addict, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they go into when they finally say, hey, sometimes have to hit rock bottom to say, I want help. When an addict says, I want help,
Mm-hmm.
That means.
that means their mind is ready for it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they can't do it for me. They can't do it for anybody but themselves. So yeah, and that's where your motivation comes from. It should be because the desire of your heart.
Hmm.
I also
If
think
it's
you're
not,
very honest and transparent and vulnerable too, because remember times when you have gotten feel a little bit like, come on, what's going on, and you always turn to God and say
I
like,
do, and I came
God,
and I
what
spoke
is
to,
going on?
and I
I
came
just
a
was
couple of
feeling this
times,
way
and I spoke
yesterday.
to. I had meetings with Waterman. I came in here. I just, was, it because it happens. So, you know, um, that's another motivation, right? Because sometimes you need to be fed and you have to be encouraged. So you have to find encouragement, and then you find those people that will encourage you and that will say, hey, no, get out of that
Get
slump
out
and
that
things
funk.
like that.
Two things I've seen you do, which is very important, and I've also read this, that you celebrate small achievements
Mhm.
whenever you get something, and you also call the right people that celebrate with you. And two things, you may get a little bit in a funk, but you don't let it deter you from getting on, because you might get in a little funk, and then you'll be like, oh, I
Mhm.
got one,
Yeah, you
things like
always,
that.
you know, you always. People hate when I say this word, but yeah, you are allowed to
Yeah,
sulk in it for like a day or a couple of hours.
and get up.
What
So,
he said,
but
weeping may
then
endure
get
for a
up.
night.
Right, right. Sometimes it don't even be a night. Sometimes you going and you like, okay, I'm, but just get over it. Get over
Mm,
it because it doesn't make you, it doesn't make you unworthy.
right. So, for those of you who are online watching us, what motivates you to set your goals? What motivates you? So, there's two parts of the motivation. One, Walik is on it about the desire. In order to be motivated, you have to have a desire.
Yes.
If it's not relevant to
Yeah.
your life,
Yeah.
you is not connecting to you.
Right.
So you have to have a desire
Mm-hmm.
for that and a passion for that and it has to be values. It has to connect to who you are,
Yes.
resonate to who you are as an
Mm-hmm.
individual when you're setting goals, because you know you better than anyone.
That's
And
it.
so when people are looking at themselves and motivated to achieve goals, they know their possibilities.
This is
And
true.
that last thing is about connecting yourself with God.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people, when they go through these resolutions and stuff like that, they fail
Mm.
to connect themselves with God. And when you fail to connect yourself with God, you really are not achieving your true purpose in life,
Yes.
that fulfillment, because we're all given gifts and
Right.
talents,
Right.
and you don't know how to tap into
Right.
them.
But
Right.
how do you so you said when you are making these resolutions, there's a connection that you should have with God. But what are the ungodders? Like because we talked about secular, and in the secular world, a lot of people they're not being motivated by God or motivated, or they don't have it in them. Some people are self motivators
Hmm.
and they feel like I know people that's not godly people or but believers of God or spiritual.
But I
And
think somewhere in the line is that the Bible did says encourage yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So two, three.
For sure.
We are all spiritual beings, but we
Mm-hmm.
have not tapped into who we are. So that's the main thing that we are. And a lot of people don't understand. And you'd be surprised that some of the non-traditional church
Yes.
goers
Yes.
who are tapping into other spirituality
Mm-hmm.
that they resonate with, from meditation to burning candles to tapping
Yoga.
into yoga and stuff like that. So everybody needs some type, and I guarantee you, if you look into their life, that they are motivated by some type of spirituality. They might not call it God like
Mm-hmm.
we do,
Right.
because we recognize the awesomeness of who God is,
Right.
and we understand that even a little spirituality itself is God, because we understand that seed, that mustard seed faith, that it doesn't take a lot for God to tap into you.
It's true.
And we also understand that sometimes God will still use us even though we are not saved,
Mm-hmm.
and not apart, because we're all still God's children
Right.
until that opportunity of death. When
Mm-hmm.
death comes, then we can no longer make that decision.
Right.
But as long as we're alive, we have the opportunity to ask for forgiveness, like the thief on the cross,
Right.
that he has that opportunity to his death. Then he had the opportunity. But unfortunately, everybody don't know their time. and won't get that opportunity.
Exactly.
But again, when it comes down to motivating, is desire one. So in desire is inwardly,
Hmm.
and connecting is outwardly, and
Right.
that collaboration between your desire and God's desire for your life is still another thing that you have to be watchful for.
Right.
Because just because someone is successful in this area, don't mean that that was God's purpose for their life,
Exactly.
right? And if you look through down the line, what you know, what's the curious thing that I was watching is Denzel Washington at 67 now becoming more spiritual, God ordained, and everything. So the question would be, all of that acting that he did, was that the actual preacher that was in him that he used in a direction
Well,
for his life?
you know, he was
I've
he
always heard
grew
him
up in
talk
church.
about. I've
He
always
grew
heard
up
him
in
talk
church.
about
I
spiritual
think
things.
I want to say I know that he grew up in church. His father was a deacon, so he grew, so he always believed in
He's
Christ.
been
All right.
He
around it.
always, and he's always been around it. You know, it's just something that you used to always say from in your preaching, when you say things like, well, you know, people come back to God because
It's
they done
over.
gained weight, they ain't got it no
Heartbroken.
more. They got it, you know, or you know, you got the
It's true
little,
sometimes.
you get the little, you know, your body look good. The ladies got the nice little figures, men, but as you get older, you start losing that stuff. You can't chase the tail, and you can't chase the body. So
You don't
now
have it no
you
more.
you wearing your long stuff and things like that. So I don't know if, I don't want to say if that was him for that, but I think that, you know, it was always in him. You
I
know,
think
I
it's
watched the
timing.
Jamie Foxx special,
Right.
and one of the things that really got me with him is that when he was talking about, he believed this happened because God needed him to be, you know, to remember who he is.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he's another one that came out
His
the church,
grandmother raised him
and
in the
he
church.
said one of the things that he said, I even forgot to bless my food, y'all.
Mm.
And he said, God said, you don't even bless your food. And he talked about the simplest things. And it wasn't like, hey, I don't, he said to say thank you for my food. He said, I even stopped doing that.
Right,
Because you got
and
to be
and
brought
so
down
here it is,
sometimes.
and that's why I say the goals are connected to your purpose, God's purpose, all connected, and they it's a chain connection that does it. It's how you use your gifts and talents, and there are periods in your life when God brings you back to the true gift. Because Denzel did say that his true calling was to be a minister, because of his mother
Hmm.
prophesying to him and things like that. So even with that itself, it's saying, okay, now I'm coming back to fulfill the
Mm.
goal that was truly for my life, even though that God allowed me to experience these in this avenue. And your gift makes what?
Room
Room
for
for
you.
you. So secular singers, right, who were gospel singers, who learned how to sing in the church, and then they went out into the world, and then they came back to God. Again, these goals and things that are set up has to do with, can I reconnect back to God to fulfill my full goal and purpose?
And I think it's timing too, not to get to another celebrity, but Leandra Johnson, right?
Hmm.
She's a great singer. A lot of people, she reaches a lot of the masses that people, regular Sunday people or Sabbath keepers won't reach. And she just was in trouble for drinking and driving and got arrested
Again.
again. Yeah.
No, no, and I say
Yeah, and I don't mean it in a
again.
bad way,
Right,
but
I
what
don't
I'm
mean it in a
saying is
bad way either,
like the
or I'm not
Jamie
judging.
Foxx thing is those are the people, she will reach a lot of people that we won't reach because
Hmm.
they're not going to come into the church house. And they're not going to, and I've been watching on social media, like she's had a big support, like people are so forgiving, and I'm learning in life that it's those experiences that will push you back, that it will push Jamie Foxx to say his grace. Because it's like, oh my God, I'm eating, I haven't said my grace. Have you gotten so big? Has your
Hmm.
goals been so fulfilled that you forgot about me? So sometimes God has to remind us. In my case, I say, He'll make me go through something again, again, like putting my face in it, like a fool returning to his vomit.
Hmm.
Like, how you don't get it yet. So I just think that we have to make sure that, we don't leave God, whatever these goals are, whatever. It's just like if I had a goal outside of the things of God and I let it carry me. Like if you let your acting take you so far out, it's like, don't forget, Crandall, I gave you this acting.
Right. Yeah.
It,
So here, let's connect the motivational thing. So one, we have the desire, right?
mm-hmm,
The values that fosters our motivation,
mm-hmm,
that creates and pushes us. to pursue the passion,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then your vision board comes in
Yes.
where you have the imagery, what you're indicating before.
Mhm.
How do you get motivated? That's where you get imagery,
Yes.
quotes
Yes.
that you put on your vision board, so that reminds
Or
you,
Yes.
all over your house
right?
and stuff
You
like
Yes.
know,
that.
you
Yes.
everywhere you go, your refrigerator, wherever you go. For those who
It's
live
true.
single, make sure you live single. Don't be doing it all over the place. Have your own room. So your vision board now helps you to continue to live up to the passion by putting quotes, by turning on some motivational speakers or preachers or Sunday songs and things like that. So and that helps you in your daily walk one by one. So one, we have the goal setting. Two, motivation. Here's the question that most people can't do, especially when it comes down to weight loss. You could do it for a day, but you won't do it for the rest of the week. Focus.
Yeah.
Mm.
How
That's
do
important.
people
I have to
focus?
put focus. Yeah,
Yeah, focus, because I know even
it's
uh,
hard.
as hard. Let's see, because you do a lot of stuff. You're an
I'm a
entrepreneur
snacker.
in your own right.
I'm a
But
snacker.
yeah,
But as soon as I get stressed, I need a bag of chips.
uh,
I need a bag of chips. I need, because I'm not a smoker. No offense to smokers. Sometimes I wish I smoked, because then it's easy to put out a cigarette. You can't smoke. You can't smoke everywhere, but you can eat everywhere. You can
mm,
snack everywhere. So it's hard because I love to snack, and so I need my people. I'm putting it live on social media. Hold me accountable for my snacking. I have a friend. Every time I'm on the phone, they say to me, "What's in your mouth? What are you eating?" And I'm
mm.
like, "I'm brushing my teeth. I'm trying to, I'm goggling, whatever." But it's so good to have people next to you that will hold you accountable. Are you still working on that? Of course, gently and in love, because you don't want to be, beat up. So
So how do you avoid distractions? Any one of you or somebody
you
online,
have to
for
be
those
so
you are with
focused.
us,
I
how do
think
you
it
avoid distractions when
So
you try to
focused.
live in
achieve
a
your
bubble.
goal? Uh, See, and
Put
that's
yourself in
that's
a
the hard thing
bubble.
to do in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy. Those who got a lot of family around you, being by yourself is easy to kind of sort of focus and lose
No, it's
distraction.
not.
No, because
No, it's
loneliness
not.
sets in, and
It does.
all of that other stuff that comes in.
It does.
So there's a lot of pressure on focus. So how do you avoid distractions? Um, Any one of you.
I think one of the main things, you know it, but you don't always do it.
Hmm.
I mean, whatever you have to do, you have to have. What works for me, because I am like a vision board person, because I need visual and I need audible reminders. And so, like you said, I am going to listen to a lot of motivational. I'm going to be listening to this pastor, that pastor. Funny, ironically, Donnie just said today, because it's the countdown on WBLS today, because it's the end of the new year. So they
Hmm.
played the song from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. She came in and she's like, "All right, evangelist, you need to be listening to your gospel." I said,
Come
"All
on,
right
Diamond.
now." I said,
Diamond
"This
is
is."
keeping you
I said,
focused.
"This was Leslie listening to that, not evangelist." Now, come on now. I'm a '70s baby, but you need people like that. Same for Bruce. He'll say, "Why are you eating that? What are you eating this?" It's annoying because you don't want people in your ear like da 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 da. But I need, that's what works for me. I need people to remind me and say, "Did you read that chapter today?" And that's another thing, with the Genesis journey. If I'm going to teach people, just like Pastor, if he's going to come and preach on Sunday, you got to study. You
Hmm.
can't come before the people. So what people don't know is they thank me for the Genesis journey, but they don't know I can't come before them and not know what I'm trying to teach, or I'm going to
Hmm.
look like a fool. So I have to study, because I have to come before them. If I don't study, it shows. If a pastor doesn't study and comes before his congregation, people are going to know. So I
Hmm.
think it's about staying focused. That's the biggest thing for me. I have to stay focused, and I know that I have to have, I'm not disciplined enough. So I have to have people around me that speak to me gently and in love and say, how's that going for you? Well, we're on week 3. Where have you gotten?
No,
That's what works
I
for me.
mean, distraction, Wally, as an actor also. Leslie does a lot of stuff, so I'm not quite sure how you balance all that stuff to stay focused to achieve. So the question that I would ask you, Les, is that if you got multiple things that you are involved with, how do you actually accomplish the goals of at least one, or is it, do I start and go back to another, to start and go back to another?
Well,
Well,
I'm learning
How
to
to,
and
prioritize.
that's and
I'm
that's
learning to
and that's
prioritize.
time
I'm not
that's
there
management.
yet.
focus. See that word
That's and
prioritize
that's time
as a part of
management
your
as
right.
that's also time management when you because we are involved in a lot of things and I say to myself sometimes like I remember being younger
Having nothing to do.
And some of this stuff, like I could learn lines in like I could learn a whole 12 page in like 2 days.
Right.
So but I realized it's a distraction
Mm,
and the focus around me
mm,
because here I am, I gotta be at work, and then at work, you're on 5 projects at work,
Hmm.
you in church, you're on 10 projects at church, and then you got your family, so you're working on things with your family and the family
It's
issues,
true. It's so
and
true.
then, you know, you still want to have time for your friends and you still want to
mm-hmm.
have a social life. So a lot of that is distraction, but I think it's time management.
It's the opposite for me. I need these distractions to keep me focused, to keep me going, because I know, okay, I have to be here at 5 o'clock. I got to be there at 7 o'clock. Like, but I do know. Even my doctor told me you got to slow down. You have to rest. But what helps me is knowing that I have these things to do.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me. It keeps me up. Okay, I'm gonna get 6 hours of sleep. I gotta be on the prayer line at 6 o'clock. I gotta be clocking at 8 o'clock. So that's what keeps me. Because I have to get better. Time management is not my thing. Thank you for saying that. I will be adding that to my list. Time management, sticking to it, and putting a note up, like you said, on the door. You must leave out this door at 7:45. You have to be there by.
And another thing you got to start doing is saying
Oh,
no.
oh yeah, that's true.
And
That's
that's
not easy.
that's
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 not easy for
that's
me.
for me. Sometimes you just have to
All
say
right, Bruce. Number two.
no. Sometimes you just and this is I need to just start saying no. I can't. Even if you don't have nothing to do, right? It's good to say no because you should still have time for yourself.
You setting
So if
boundaries.
I'm just sitting in my apartment just watching TV, catching up on shows instead of going out to this event and that
Yeah.
event, that's maybe not today, but tomorrow I'll do those things. But
I did say that today, Waleed. I did say, I just told Diamond before I left the house, I said, this year I have to prioritize what I attend and
that's
what
your
I don't go
resolution.
to. One of them, one of them. No, because I go to everything. If you're having an event, he's having an event, I love you both. I'm cutting myself short because I'm trying to because I want to make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I get home, I get 2 hours of sleep.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not right. It's not that I don't love you, but then when I go to your event, I have to buy a card. I have to
Mm-hmm.
put money in it. I have to get dressed. I have to do my hair. I got to do my nails. There's a whole lot. So this year, please don't invite me to everything because I can't go. I wanted to say what Margaret said here. She said to succeed, you must find a quiet spot, find your support system, and surround yourself with like minds. There has to be an internal driver. I like that. There
Yeah,
has to be an
but
internal
also
driver.
I didn't know. So for those of you who are watching us, yes, you must manage your time. Sometimes say no.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the key thing about focus is that you got to actually do what truly matters.
Yes.
The problem that we're having with most of the people being successful is that they saying no to the wrong things,
Yes.
or that they over managing their time and not able to complete what truly matters
Yes.
because of they're filtered with so much other stuff that they think that matters.
Yes.
So one thing that I understand about everything that I do professionally is that I know that Antioch matters.
Yes.
That's my main goal.
Yes.
Meg Evans College matters.
Yes.
My family matters.
Yes.
All the other fluff stuff is just around if I have time to
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
So prioritize,
I like that.
focus,
Yes.
truly pick what
Hmm.
matters
Yes.
because all of us got a lot of things that's happening in life and we got a lot of people that's pulling on us.
Ooh.
And the problem that you're not able to accomplish and truly live up to your personal
Yes.
purpose is because you're trying to fulfill everybody else's
Hmm.
personal purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, everybody else is trying to do what you're doing.
Yes.
And sometimes they need you in order to accomplish
You're
what
right.
they're doing. But you have to really know if I'm prioritizing me
Yes.
over them,
I love it.
right?
I love it.
Yes, our job to serve for those who are in need,
Mm-hmm.
but not to serve for those that want need,
Right.
which is a total different thing.
Yes.
And that's what we do. We
Yes.
end up mixing up the two on what is actually needed versus who just wants things from us. And when we do that, we don't manage our time, nor do we focus. So again, with focus, you got to outline your goals, learn to prioritize tasks, and align them with your vision. So if the stuff that you're doing is not lined up with your vision, And that's period. That's people, places, and things.
Mhm.
Hanging out
Mhm.
doesn't line up with my vision.
Mhm.
Coming home drunk doesn't
Mhm.
line up with my
Mm-mm.
vision.
Mhm.
Getting high with everybody else
Yes.
does that line up? Attending every party
No.
does that line up with
Yeah.
my vision? That means you got to choose and say
I
no. For
can't.
those who are watching us, say no. I can't do
I
that because
cannot.
it doesn't line up with my
I
vision.
like that.
And if it does not align with your vision, then you actually you're making it clear to others that this is my vision. This is what I'm doing. I'm holding myself with the fourth thing, which is called accountability. So that's another issue that people don't have because they don't want partners, nor do they pick people that hold them accountable.
Well, y'all
Why
heard
is
him.
that?
Why I can't go? My pastor said it. Y'all heard it live. Go to YouTube. I cannot go. It does not line up with my vision. That's it. Thank you for that disclaimer.
He
Well,
But
said
it
something.
depends.
I like what you said because one thing you really said, Pastor, that's really big, and a lot of people do not know it. Your first ministry is to your home and your family. You're a married man. And I told somebody yesterday, I said, yes, I love my church. I spend a lot of time there. Sometimes if I don't have a ride, I'm going to hang out to the end because I'm not going home to a family.
Mm-hmm.
But once I have, my kids are grown. But once I get, married, I'm not going to be here morning, noon, and night. I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
love y'all, but I got to go. Let me check in with my husband. What is his wish for the day? But I'm saying that it's nothing wrong because I have people say, oh, she always has something to do with her church. And I'm not ashamed of that. I
Right.
love that because that keeps me focused because there are things that I would love to go out and do in the natural
Mm-hmm.
and that's not pleasing in God's sight. But I know, you know what? Let me get to Antioch because I know I'm going to stay safe if I get to Antioch. Whereas if I go to some of these other things, but that's just for Leslie. You
Right.
understand what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not that it's because I love my church. I love my church family, but these things keep me
Mhm.
focused and keep me grounded by being around the things of my church.
One of the things that Crystal is on, and she says, which is a good thing for a goal, is my goal is to be intentional
I love
in
it.
everything I do. I like to make a vision to prioritize what I want to work towards. So I think that word is the word intentional
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very
is
good.
also a good word, and it's also something that uh, aligns with us, setting goals and resolutions. Is that you have to be intentional.
All right, so we have 8 more minutes, and I'm going to just lay out for those of you that are with us today. I really want to thank my guests today, or my co-anchors, what is it called,
We're your co-host
the
today.
co-hosts, Wally Crandall and Leslie Marshall. For those of you who are really interested in setting your resolution and setting your vision board. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on how to do this. The first thing you do is you pray for guidance. That's the
Mm.
first thing you do. You start off your vision this year by asking God, what is it that you want me to accomplish? So I'm asking God for guidance. What's my vision for this year? Because there is a set goal that God has for everyone to achieve within this period of
Amen.
time, and you have to get connected with God. So I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to ask God, which is my first step of everything that I do for the year of 2025, is pray for guidance. The
Yes.
second thing is to identify your goals.
Mm.
That means your spiritual growth, your relationship, your career, your health, your service. You got to identify it. These are things that actually make who you are. So you want to focus on those things.
Yes.
So again, identify your goals, your spiritual growth, your relationship. Is this the year that I'm going to get married? If
I
this is
think
the year that
so.
I want him to propose to
You
me,
better.
is this the year that I'm going to turn him loose? Because sometimes I got to deal with my relationship.
Yes.
Is it going anywhere? Right? So your family and your friends, how do you do? Or how many friends am I going to take this year? And sometimes it's good to set my friend limits.
Mm-hmm.
Because some
Yes.
people think that everybody I meet got to be my friend.
No.
No, you set your friend limits and make sure that you have. If I'm going to choose 7 friends this year, it's going to be 7 max. Everybody else is going to be acquaintance. So that would actually, when you start doing that, then you're going to really be really picky on saying this is actually my friend, and
Yes.
you're going to have to pray about it for discernment to make sure that God attached this person to my life for this season.
Mm.
This season, because it's not meant for eternal. Everybody's not meant to be there, right? So, and then what you do is the third thing, you have to gather the materials. You have to make
Yes.
sure you gather the materials. When you're doing your vision board, make sure that you gather. Some of you are very colorful, some of you are black and white,
Yeah, I'm colorful.
things that make you pay attention to your vision.
Hmm.
That's the materials you're gonna put roses up, put things there that attracts you, that you like, right?
Hmm.
And break. So you gather the material.
Yes.
The fourth thing is choose scriptures and inspirational quotes. Go through your YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff, music, right? Books, and write the quotes.
Yes.
So now this entails me doing some study for my vision.
Yes.
I just don't want to just have a vision,
That's
but I
right.
want to be able to study what is it my vision. So for those of you who are going through and trying to choose a vision, you got to study it. What
Yes.
is it that God actually wants? If God has directed me towards this, how do I get there? What is the process? If I'm going to go to school, how am I going to get there? Is my goal to get my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree this year, or finish up college?
Mm.
Do your research so that you understand how you can roadmap or map out your goals to achieve your vision for this year. And so there's scriptures like, I can do all things, well, like you said, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, or commit yourself to the Lord, whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Write them down and make it plain,
Hmm.
right? You got to write them down and make it plain. So your vision. And then the next thing is visualize your goal,
Mm.
right? A lot of people can't visualize. You got to visualize your goal. You cut out images. If you're looking for a new car, I dare you to put on your vision board a car. This is going to be my car,
Come
or
on.
close to it. Put a couple of them up there so it reminds you what I have to do to get this car. I got to save,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
do overtime, but I
Yes.
got to make sure I add God in it. Don't do anything without connecting God to that process. So create images, words, and phrases that represents your goal, and
Hmm.
then put them down for inspiration
That's
as you
good.
go forward.
That's good.
So the next thing is arrange and create. Start arranging your cutouts on your board, and make them, put them in perspective. Lay it out like a roadmap, and then in corporate prayer. Sometimes it's good to share with somebody else who has the same vision that
That's
you
right.
have,
That's right.
and you will share with them to let them know, hey, this is my vision for this year.
Yes.
And when you do corporate prayer, that's you. The Bible says, where two or three
Three.
touch and
Hmm.
agree. And don't get haters.
No.
That's why I said choose your friends wisely. Those are the people who are praying for you,
That's
not
right.
on you,
That's right.
or against you. So with that itself, in corporate prayer, and display your vision board so you can see it, right? So that is visible. If you live by yourself, put your vision board in different places in your house.
Hmm.
Put it on the door on the way out. Put it in your bedroom. Put it in your kitchen. Put it in the places where you're going to actually see it so you can review it and you can revise it as you go. Things that you saw that this the timeline that might not happen in that timeline. But as you create and continue to write and revise your vision board, and then again end it with prayer. So that is my solution for those who are doing resolution and those who are creating vision board. You might be one of those people that are out there that are struggling even with this time in these last 2 minutes, and I really want to pray that God would actually give you a vision and give you a resolution that's obtainable, that you can actually achieve it this year, that you will have a smart resolution this year. That means that it will be specific, that means it's measurable, that means it's achievable, it's relevant to your life, and there's a time catchment that actually is applying to you. So for those of you who are there, once again, we are excited about 2025. So we want you to come to our worship today at 10 p.m. So if you're online, and you sharing with somebody and you just happen to see it before 10 a.m. or even at 10 a.m. and you live in the area, please come on out to Antioch Baptist, Brooklyn, and enjoy our worship service as we celebrate the possibilities and the measurement that God is getting ready to have in our lives for 2025. I got a word for you because that word is connected with in 2025. I'm going to make people speechless.
Pastor,
And
what time
that
is
is
service
what we're
tonight?
going to do 10 p.m. tonight when we're going to make people speechless. So that is what we're here for, and we're excited about God's possibility. So once again, tune in to our podcast as we continue to lift up God and encourage others as they go through, especially from 24 into 25. God bless you.
No, it goes off on its own. I don't know. I got worries. I got worries too. I was like, hold up. I hope it's done. It's probably done. Anyway.
Check somebody.
It went up and helped themselves.
Go with them.
I said, well,
Leave your book.
I said, well, this gonna be my weapon. My brook is a weapon.
Hello?
They already went downstairs. They went and got the goods and they left. What's upstairs? Huh? No, they went upstairs.
I know.
Some man said,